Hello everyone, welcome back to another Leetcode problem solving session. Today we're going to be solving problem 20. The problem is as follows. It's called valid parentheses. Given a string S containing just the characters, and then they have round brackets, curly brackets, and square brackets. Determine if the input string is valid. An input string is valid if open brackets must be closed by the same type of brackets. Open brackets must be closed in the correct order. Every closed bracket has a corresponding open bracket of the same type. So here we have open round bracket, close round bracket. Obviously, that's valid. Then we have open and close of one type, open close of another, and then open close of another. Obviously, still valid. Then here we have open round bracket, and then we close it with a square bracket. So that's not going to be valid. So we have to determine if the ordering is valid. So essentially, let's say we open a round bracket and then we open a square bracket. We're going to want to close that square bracket before we close the round bracket that preceded. So when you think about it like that, there's only really one solution that I know to this problem. And when you think about it like that, it kind of leads to thinking about a stack, right? Let's first initialize our stack here, but I'm also going to initialize something else that will become more obvious later, where I will map the closing bracket to corresponding opening bracket. So we're going to go through each character. We just need each character in S. Now, if we have an opening bracket, then that means that C is not in D. D, when you check for containment in D, you're checking in D's keys, which would be these closing brackets here. So we know that those are not, or anything that's not in D would be an opening bracket. So we know that everything is either an opening or a closing bracket. So if it's not in D, that means it's an opening bracket. And we can simply just append that to our stack. Otherwise, now we know it is a closing bracket. Well, if it's a closing bracket, then we want to make sure that we have the corresponding opening bracket as the most recent thing that we have opened, if that makes any sense, without closing. So how do we check that? Well, if not stack or stack -1 not equal to, and then here's where we use the dictionary, so we don't have to do case by case. So if there's nothing on our stack, which means no brackets are open, or if the most recent thing opened is not the corresponding opening bracket, then we can return false. This is not valid. But now that we know that we have a stack and the most recent thing pushed onto the stack is the corresponding bracket, we can simply pop that opening bracket from the stack because we've closed it, given that we've just received the closed bracket. And so that's pretty much everything we really need to do for every character in S. The only thing left to do is to check, is this stack empty or not? Because if it's not empty and there's something still on the stack, that means there's a bracket that we haven't closed. But if it is empty, that means we've closed all the brackets that we've opened, and the string should be valid. So we can simply just turn not stack. So it seems like it works in these 3 test cases. Let's just quickly run it. Perfect. Accepted. Yeah, this solution, obviously if you're not familiar with stacks, it's going to be a little bit difficult to come up with this. But when you think of, you need to close the most recent thing that was opened, you start thinking, okay, first in, last out. First in, last out is a stack data structure. So yeah, if you understand stacks, then it probably makes a decent amount of sense why this would work. If you don't, I will have a reference in the description, kind of explaining how stacks work and what they're typically used for. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. If you have any questions about the solution, please leave them in the comment section below. And I'll see you guys next time.